A viral petition calling for a fresh general election in the UK has reached nearly 3 million signatures.
And it was launched a week ago today by the pub landlord Michael Westwood. It has been endorsed by ex-owner Elon Musk and legendary actor Sir Michael Caine. They've both backed calls for a new vote to oust this Labour government. But the Prime Minister has waded into the row. He says this isn't how our system works. He was challenged on it directly by Kat and Andy Peters on This Morning. Shall we have a listen to what he said?
Are you now feeling the pressure? Because I think there's a petition that's currently
Your approval
online
ratings have dropped.
1.9 people who want the election to go again.
It's now
Is
over
it 2 million now?
It's now just over 2 million.
Do you feel the pressure?
Look, I remind myself that very many people didn't vote Labour at the last election.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that many of them want a rerun. That isn't how our system works. There would be plenty of people who didn't want us in the first place. So, look, what I focus on is the decisions that I have to make.
Michael Westwood, the pub landlord and originator of the petition, joins us now. Welcome.
Thank you.
Did you ever expect that the Prime Minister would actually respond to your petition?
No, not at all. I hope so. But the response there is the kind of response that I'd expect, to be truthful.
What do you mean by that?
To dismiss 2 million people out of hand straight away, I think it comes across as arrogant. And I think that's what has resonated with a lot of people out there, and that's why they are online signing this petition.
So what should he have said, do you think?
I should acknowledge the fact that we've all got a view. And yes, okay, it's okay saying the system doesn't work, and that's the way our system doesn't work, but maybe it should. Maybe people should be held accountable. Let's be truthful. The lawyers was told to get into power. Surely there should be questions asked.
Which lie in particular has upset you?
Well, there's a few, to be truthful. The national insurance, that's going to hit businesses hard. And let's be truthful, the taxpayers are going to end up paying as well, because businesses and services are going to have to increase what they charge, which then the general public should be paying.
So you run 3 pubs, am I right?
3 pubs, yeah.
OK. So the national insurance rise is on you as an employer.
Yeah.
What is that going to mean for hiring staff, keeping staff, and presumably rising minimum wage?
Rising minimum wage as well.
It's going to affect you. And what else?
We have
energy prices?
Energy prices are a major thing, especially for the pub trade. That hits us hard. At the end of the day, nobody's going to come sit in the cold pub. The heating's got to be on constant. But with that rising NI, we're going to have to pass that on. The headline out the budget was, we've took a penny off a pint. Great. The realistic of that is it's going up 25p, 30p a pint next year because the price cap on the energy's gone up 10%. The NI contributions, they're starting to pull the business rate relief. So I think what they should be doing is being transparent with the public rather than hitting the headlines of a penny off a pint.
This is so interesting listening to you, because it feels like the Conservative Party have not been quite as vocal. I mean, are you hoping to be a politician? Have you got a political background? How would you describe yourself? We know there is a pub landlord, Al Murray, who does kind of political satire.
What I am is a local businessman who's concerned. That's what I am.
Do you think this government has broken more promises than you?
Oh, 100%. And they lied by omission as well. They didn't tell the elderly and the pensioners, 10 million people, plus that they was going to be taking the winter fuel allowance away from them. If they had come out in their manifesto and told us they was going to be doing that, how many of those 10 million people voted Labour? Would he be in power now? I very much doubt it.
The thing is that in 2019, the Conservatives had a manifesto.
Yep.
I know you voted Conservative last time. I don't know if you voted Conservative the time before.
I think I did.
Yeah, because in that manifesto in 2019, they said they were going to build 40 new hospitals, they'd reduce migration, and they wouldn't raise VAT, income tax or national insurance. And then there was a huge rise in income tax and a rise in national insurance, the biggest in any parliament since the Second World War. Did you call for a petition in the last parliament?
I didn't know.
So it's different for...
I think when you look at the years that I've gone through with COVID, with the wars breaking out, with Brexit, did they do a good job? No, they didn't. Did they do a terrible...
They said migration would go down and it went up.
They did, yeah. Listen,
I just kind of wondering whether is that a different kind of broken promise? If the Tories break promises, is that not as bad as if Labour breaks them?
No, not at all. I'm not a specific Tory voter.
Right.
I will sit down to general election and try and use a bit of common sense and say, right, who's got the best policies that mean to me? Yeah. And every person in the UK thinks the same. We all look and vote on a personal basis.
Of course.
But all I wanted to do was get this petition out there to say that the current government and previous governments have lied to get into power. Should these people not be held accountable for that?
Right.
I think it's what you're representing is you're the voice of a voter trying to do... I mean, it's quite remarkable what you've managed to do. You have this petition that's almost at 3 million. You've had the backing of Elon Musk. Yeah. What happened when you found out that he tweeted your petition?
I think his quote was wow to the numbers, and I think my reaction was wow. Elon Musk, Michael Caine. I had a call yesterday from Nigel Farage saying, we think you're doing great work, try and keep it up. And I said, I'm not here for any political party.
You don't represent reform? You haven't voted reform?
If Labour had come with the best values for me, I'd have voted Labour, Conservative, Reform, whoever's out there that I think's best for me. And I think most of the public do the exact same. Yeah. Quite a lot of the public don't even bother voting because they don't trust any of them.
That's such a good point, because trust in politicians is vital to our democracy, isn't it?
That's right.
It is. Okay.
Yeah?
I'm going to throw this back at you. Do you trust them?
And that's a really interesting question. I think that generally I do trust politicians and their intentions to do the best for our country. I think it is very difficult when people say one thing, and your point is, say one thing, and then do something which appears to be different, but is justified. Yep. You know, the point is that this Labour government came in saying they didn't want to raise taxes, but they said they wouldn't raise them on working people.
Yep.
And they say that by increasing employers' national insurance is not a tax on working people.
Yep.
You would argue...
I would argue the complete opposite. And
you're a working person.
I'm a working person, and so is the rest of the public.
So is that a lie?
It is a lie, yeah. They're very clever with what they've done and the way they've put it on to the working people. Yeah. The working people are going to pay it. They're going to pay for the tills.
Yeah. That's right. And actually, the independent assessor of the budget said exactly what you're saying. Yeah. I hear you saying that politicians must keep their promises.
Yes.
And you were upset about Labour people breaking their promises. You were saying that you were upset about Conservatives breaking their promises as well. I mean, the problem is, in a democracy, if you say all these politicians are liars, who do you think should run the country?
Not a clue.
Pub landlords.
Yeah, pub landlords. We might do a better job.
It's a tough one. I mean, we need to make our politicians better,
yep.
Make them keep their promises, make sure they don't lie.
Yep.
But actually, if we say these politicians, they're liars, get rid of them, who steps in and runs the country for us?
I couldn't answer that. But what I can tell you is the current government told a pack of lies to get into power. Yeah. And I don't think that they should be able to just sit back and go, oh, do you know, 2 million people, I don't care. How's that right?
It's such an interesting conversation, really interesting. And you've sparked it simply with this petition. A couple of things. Do you think that manifestos should be legally binding?
Yes.
And if Keir Starmer knocked on the door of your pub or walked up to your bar and you were behind the bar, would you allow him in? Would you serve him a pint?
Oh, yeah.
Of course you would.
I need the money.
He's not barred.
We need the profit.
But you said a moment ago that, of course, things change. When I asked you about Boris Johnson promising 40 new hospitals, you said, I know, but things change. Things come along, like the COVID pandemic, and that changes it. Who decides when it's OK to break a promise and when it's not OK to break a promise, other than the voters in a general election? I mean, should that be decided by the courts or by you or by a petition or in general elections?
Look, I'm no politician. I never claimed to be a politician.
No, but you're having a big political impact. It's a great debate.
Well,
I was just wondering, who do you think
we'll
should
see
decide?
what impact it has, because there's no way we'll get the general election. Yeah. Because
But in our system, general elections decide that, don't they?
Which is why he's calling for another one.
Which is why I'm calling for another one. Yeah. But within five months of being in power, I've never seen a political party make such a mess. In 5 months, and we've gone for 5 years.
Right. Well, in 1992, we elected a Conservative government, and then we left the ERM, and interest rates went up to massive double figures. Do you remember that one?
How much is a pint in your pub?
In the Wagon Horses in Albury, you're looking 2.30.
And how much do you think you're going to have to charge?
I reckon it'd be 260, 255. I'm hoping to try and
It's
Yeah,
it's
try and keep
still
it low.
it's pretty good.
And you're also running a wholesale business as well. So you're not just your 3 pubs, but actually pubs right across the West Midlands.
yeah, we try and look after everyone.
Michael Westwood, you have definitely sparked a debate.
Definitely.
It's fascinating talking to you.
Thank you.
You should maybe run to be an MP.
I don't know about that.
I know, you've got all these people ringing you up. Nigel Farage, Kemi Badenoch, Keir Starmer, they're all asking you to join the party.
Yeah. Well, you've had more political impact than many. Thank you very much indeed
Thank you
for
very
coming
much.
in.
Thank you.
Great to see you.